So I had this aha moment thinking about my squats from last night, trying to figure out why they look and feel so awkward. And I thought of a picture from senior nationals when I competed in 2010, 2011, something like that. And there's a picture of me standing up with a squat in the warm-up room. And I'm already starting pitched forward. Before I even start the squat, I'm already started a little pitched forward, and the bar's a little bit lower on my back than normal. And that got me thinking about how I squat right now, or how I'm trying to squat right now. And for whatever reason, I'm trying to make this effort to start standing perfectly erect, perfectly stacked, like my back perfectly stacked straight up and down. For some reason in my mind, that's safer. And my cure, or my solution to this that I came up with last night, was I need to start box squatting to teach me how to hinge and sit back more, and just reinforce those old techniques that I had kind of lost in the last couple of years. And I was thinking to myself, what does the act of box squatting change, both physically and mentally, to where it is easier for me to hinge and sit back and pitch forward? At Swiss, Laura Phelps was talking about conjugate and box squatting, and she said one of the big mistakes that people make when box squatting is they try to stay upright. They try to stay upright, and then they try to sit back while staying upright, and most people don't have the core strength, the core integrity to keep that position. It's almost impossible to keep that position. She had stated, when you are box squatting, you almost want to pitch forward more. When you hinge back to sit on the back of the box, obviously you're going to pitch forward more. And another thing, when you're trying to stay upright and completely vertical while doing box squats, all your weight is going to be on your heels, because you're trying to counteract that falling backwards, and you lose a lot of your foot contact with the ground. The act of hinging back first, pitching forward a little bit with your torso, letting your torso travel between your legs a little bit more, it keeps a full contact with your foot on the ground at all times. So you're keeping constant balance at all times. And I was thinking, why do I need to box squat to do this? What is it about the box that enables me to do this? Why can't I do this without the box being there? And it was just kind of like a light bulb. I haven't been starting the squat like I used to, with a wider stance, and I'm already kind of partially hinged when I start even, and my chest is already kind of out over my weight a little bit. But with a lower bar placement, even though I'm starting a little bit hinged, and I'm starting with my chest out in front of me a little bit, with that lower bar placement, it still puts the bar straight in line with my center of gravity, the midline of my foot. So even though the thought was it's scarier to let my chest travel out in front of me, because then that means that the weight is going to pitch forward and put more stress on my back. But if the bar line is straight in line with my center of gravity, it's still coming straight down and still loading stacked. So I'm pretty excited to try squats again. Last night and this morning I was pretty kind of bummed, but I was happy that things went well, but I was ready to go higher. I was ready to go heavier and push it harder, but I just couldn't figure, something was sticking, and I just couldn't fucking figure it out. And one of the good things about, talking to yourself, thinking out loud, trying to work out problems, just talking out loud, you find a way to work it out. And that's exactly what I did. And will this work? I don't know. All I know is I'm not squatting like I used to. For some reason along the way, I adopted this idea to where I have to start completely standing straight up, erect, you know, trying to get that spine as neutral as possible, squeezing my glutes as hard as I can, bracing as hard as I can, creating that straight line up and down. And for whatever reason, I got caught up in that thought process, and it almost seems impossible once I'm starting like that to successfully hinge back, torso forward like I'm supposed to. It immediately just shifts all my weight forward because, you know, the bar is a little bit higher, but also it's a further distance to travel. Like it's a longer hinge, you know what I mean? If I start already moderate, like a little bit hinged, the distance I have to travel to get to the end part of that squat is far less, and it doesn't seem like that far, and it doesn't seem like this overwhelming thing that I can't get past, as opposed to when I'm starting completely erect, completely vertical. The distance that my hips now have to travel to get to that end point is so much further, and it just feels impossible. So I'm really hoping that this is kind of the thing that I need mentally to get past this little sticking point. And I'm still going to try box squatting just to help reinforce that. But like I said, when Laura Phelps was talking at Swiss, you know, she was saying big mistake is people try to stay upright and vertical when they do their box squat, and it's really difficult, borderline impossible to do that because you just don't have the core integrity, the core strength to maintain that position. You end up just flopping on the box. And if you're someone who box squats and you find yourself flopping on the box, that could be one of the things that's going on. You could be trying to stay too upright as opposed to hinging initially, letting that torso come down a little bit and keeping that weight distributed evenly across your foot. So that's my kind of aha moment I had today, and we'll see if it pans out.